Hello, Capricorn. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to your end of month forecast for what's left here of April. And I wanted to make sure that I got at least one video out this month for you, and then you'll be at the top of the list next month. The reason for the delay very quickly is because I had to unexpectedly move out of my other apartment into a hotel for a bit while they're getting another unit set up for me. Long story short, the air conditioning and heating unit broke multiple times, leaked, and then they found mold in it. So because I've been through that before, I'm like, you got to get me out of here ASAP. So I am now in a safe environment. Yes, your videos are delayed, but health first, and sometimes life gets in the way. So apologies, but what I'll do is flip the order next month, and we're going to do shorter ones, and we'll get them out sooner. But yeah, I've had a tricky couple of months because of things going on in my apartment. So thank you for understanding. Let's get into your reading today. I like to begin with channeled messages. For you, what I saw was the totem of a bee, but I saw a lot of them, and strangely enough, I saw them around you and in your home. So some of you might be busy working on something new. To me, bees represent, they're very creative, right? And it's also like a hive energy, so you might be working with other people on a project. You might be working on launching something in your life. This can also represent the ability to, it could even be a birth actually, the way that this totem's coming through, but germination, creation, and work around that. But I didn't see the ultimate launch yet, just a lot of busyness. Take time while you're in this sort of buzzing energy of creation and thinking to ground yourself, because one card that comes through as I'm thinking about the totem would be like the Seven of Cups, where your mind is in all of these directions, and we need to ground that energy so it's not constantly on the go. Limit your caffeine intake so that you're not kind of wired and thinking. If you've ever been over caffeinated, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't necessarily make you more alert or more awake. It just makes things more intense. What will help you is breathing, getting ample sleep, exercising, and grounding yourself. I think that over the course of the next month, and you'll get your reading in about a week, but I think what you're going to see is rapid movement, a lot of progress, and ultimately, because it's a pollinator, some good things coming through, a fruitful period. So let's not sleep on the end of the month. Please do what you can here in the next week or so to maximize all of your opportunities, but try not to be thinking about too many things at once, and to use like a cooking metaphor, don't keep too many things cooking at once either, because your distraction is the only thing that could take you out of your power and your ability to manifest, okay? Let's shuffle the cards and see what's coming through. Please take a moment, close your eyes, let go of whatever it is that you might have been bringing into this reading. Just be present. Like we said, let's practice that grounding energy. Imagine that the sun is shining directly overhead, and you can invite in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters as you create a circle of light around your body. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. You have an amazing catalyst here in the form of the ladybug. Yes, the card is reversed, but ladybugs can travel in any direction, so your luck is getting ready to turn around if you're willing and ready to allow it to be. So we have luck, positivity, and happiness. And the happiness piece is key because sometimes we sacrifice our happiness for acceptance, success, to appease other people, but you should never have to basically dilute who you are, and also acceptance should never come at the sacrifice or detriment of your own happiness and well-being. So this is basically a month for you to reclaim all of that And luck is a state of mind. It's not something that's out there that you can't reach. When you start to feel like, I can do this, this will happen, I am worthy, ready, and willing to receive, your luck turns around. So yes, it may feel a little topsy-turvy, but the ladybug can find its footing, and you can change your luck this month. Positivity and happiness are the keys to that successful turnaround. All right, let's take a look at this spread here. There is one obstacle, but it does look like you can overcome it. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Otherwise, I love the power of manifestation. This is what the bee was all about that I saw. And everything on this side looks really, really good. So let's just take it one card at a time. We're going to start off with the independent, successful Nine of Pentacles at the center. This card represents slow, steady growth. It also is reminding you to take a moment and get a bird's eye view. Typically, this woman on the card always has like a falcon on her, usually perched on her arm. That actually represents the ability to see things from a different perspective. And maybe for some of you, you're too in the weeds. You're too focused on something to get that bird's eye view. So take a break, get perspective. This will help you, especially if you're stressed out. The Nine of Pentacles typically has a snail on it, which represents slow growth, but sustainable growth. And here we have all these beautiful sunflowers that are starting to take shape and form there in the center. So this is a fruitful month. It will be. You still have a week left. And I also feel like the next month is going to bring even more. That's why I saw all of the pollinators coming in. So don't give up on what you're working on. In fact, if we fast forward here to the final card, the Nine of Wands, your two nines. This is prosperity and this is perseverance, and the two go hand in hand. Your perseverance, in other words, not giving up, that sort of work ethic and positivity is going to change your luck. And every time I see positivity, I keep seeing prosperity in my brain, even though the word is positivity. So positivity and prosperity also are teaming up this month. You may feel like you can do this all on your own, but if you open up to partnership, things could get done a little bit faster. And right on top of this card, we see a little bit of this. Mentorship in the form of the Empress. Some of you may decide to work with a mentor, someone that you trust, a teacher. Some of you, because of your own experience, your perseverance, your tenacity, may be called upon to be the leader, to be the teacher, to be the mentor. The Empress, of course, also represents being in a position of power, being the boss, and also taking the reins, taking control on something in your life and saying, I want to steer this ship. You have the capacity to be an amazing leader this month if you give yourself that chance. It's up to you, really. This also is connected with parents and even just people in your life that might have fit the role of a parent, an aunt, a grandparent, someone that you could always lean on. In this period of time, when you're maybe afraid to reach out to others, perhaps that person can be the voice of reason and help you through any sort of challenge you might be facing. Let's take a look at what's coming through in the deep past. It's so interesting because Queen of Wands and Empress energy, they're kind of in the same pantheon of strength. So these two leaders basically are stalwart, strong, sometimes a little bit bossy, particularly when the card is reversed. So as someone that might be already in your life, this could be like a parent or a teacher that was strict. And what you're trying to do is liberate yourself from that framework of their way or the highway. In your own life, a little bit of that might have rubbed off, or maybe this is just something you've developed on your own where you think to yourself, it has to be done my way. This is the best way. I'm the best one to do this. There are times and places where that can be accurate, but there is an invitation from Spirit to keep an open mind because there might be one or two paths in addition to the one that you see that could be more efficient, less sort of worrisome or less struggle-oriented, like you could just get through it faster. So open yourself up and see what comes through. Ultimately, what I do like about this is when the energy of the Queen of Wands reverse comes through, it basically gives you the power to push something into existence. Sometimes we do have to fight for ourselves, like in a court case, or if somebody is trying to get us to do something that's wrong. This is your voice coming through with a really strong, not even loud, but just very firm, no, we're not doing that. And so for that, I actually like the Queen of Wands reversed. And the other thing that I would say here is don't be afraid of research, because before you make a decision, if you research and find something new, You may be inspired to change your mind, and know this, you can change your mind. You don't have to stick to something from the past when you didn't have more information in the present. Now you can actually say, you know what, I've learned, I've grown from this, and I'm now ready to maybe try something different. And that's okay. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of growth. We have in the recent past here success. Because this is an end of month checkpoint, I feel like many of you are already on a successful sort of venture path, or you're headed in the right direction, suffice it to say. This is a reminder also that whatever success is to you is unique and subjective. You can define it. It isn't just what your mom said. It isn't just what a boss expects of you. It's so many other things. Success can be proving to yourself that you could do something. Success can be having a good balance in your life of, time with your friends and family, and a good amount of time being spent on health and wellness. It's not just title, prestige, money. These are things that you might like or might constitute some of the check marks in success, but there's a lot of other things. Teaching, giving back, a sense of fulfillment, joy, happiness. So create a maybe more cosmic view of what success is, and know that just by trying and doing your best, you're already successful on many levels. I mentioned work-life balance, and it's being echoed in the Two of Pentacles, as is choices. This card is in the reverse position. It seems like every other card today is, and that's okay. It's showing that you're creating balance this month, and we have this much balance in the cards. In the reverse position, the Two of Pentacles reminds you, without any sort of vagueness, that you have to make some choices in order to stay focused, stable, and to be sort of like impactful. If you stretch yourself too thin, something's going to give. It could be your patience, it could be attention to detail, it could be your health, and we don't want any of those things to happen. So know when to say yes, know when to say no, and don't feel bad because you have to do that. Being strong and decisive is very much boss energy, is very much leadership energy. And you already have it in the cards. So this month, you have to make a choice. Don't back down from that choice, because I think this is the key to changing your luck around. Make your luck. You can make your luck. You can change your luck. It's never too late. Even though we're almost at the end of the month, this is why the reading came through at this point. You can make a change today that shifts everything in the future. So do it. So right here in the near future, we have potentially the biggest block. It's sort of on a diagonal between the choice, so creating a choice, saying no when necessary, and then the very powerful High Priestess energy here, seeing and believing what your intuition is bringing you. So if you doubt yourself, or if you don't make a good choice, then the devil energy enters in. All right, so trust your instincts and say no when necessary. The devil also represents other things. Control, we can see it here with the two individuals and the devil in the middle. So if there's someone in your life that is super controlling, and we actually saw a little bit of that here with these two individuals. I love the boss cards, but sometimes you can find yourself between a rock and a hard space, because each person wants something different. You're like, at the end of the day, how can I make you happy? This can also be someone in your life that kind of has a Jekyll and Hyde personality, where one day they love you, the next day they hate you. You have to just live life for yourself when that happens. And it could be anyone in your life. Parent, teacher, friend, partner. And when that happens, it's a wake-up call that there's probably something better on the horizon. If you meet someone this month and they can't give you what you need, like in partnership or even friendship, and they're just not as available or not as honest as you need and require, then see that for what it is. It's not always fun to see someone's shadow side, but when it comes through to protect you. There is a block that Spirit presents to you, and it is not indicative of failure, because I already have the energy of success. Quite the contrary. It shows that your guides are adamant about you not stepping into something that doesn't feel right. If you've ever made a mistake, and we all have in the past, I think at some point, where you're like, I shouldn't do this, but someone strong arms you into it. They push you into it. Later, you beat yourself up and think, why didn't I listen to myself? Listen to yourself. You will know at the onset if someone isn't a good match, if something isn't right for you, and I want you to trust your instincts. In the realm of contracts, get someone to look at it. And if there's someone in your life that just shows up like we see here as not very trustworthy or not honest, move beyond it. One last thing that you can do to transmute the devil is to work with integrity, transparency, and honesty. The devil hates that because they're all elevated energies, okay? And remember, the ladybug was kind of telling us how to do that. Your luck comes from positivity and happiness, and usually you're most positive and happy when you're honest and leading with integrity. In the environment, we have a solution to the Two of Pentacles. So there are 3 cards that show balance. Well, actually, there's more than that. There's 4 if you include Temperance. But Two of Pentacles, usually the person is kind of trying to create balance. I'll pull the traditional one here. 6 of Pentacles normally has scales. Justice has scales. And I think I mentioned Temperance. So the fact that you got 2 in this spread is saying that you really have to focus on balancing out your time and energy, balancing out your health and well-being, making sure that there's reciprocity in contracts. And overall, if you make smart choices, the 6 of Pentacles reminds you that you're going to be okay. As promised, here are the 2 original cards for reference. So as you can see, the original 2 of Pentacles, he's trying to get his balance amid this sort of like, topsy-turvy energy, a little bit of turbulence, but you can find your balance if you say yes or no when you need to. And then more importantly, this 6 of Pentacles energy. He is doling out those coins very, what's the best word? With a lot of discernment and weighing options. So the one takeaway here is if you make smart choices, if you weigh your options well, you have more than enough. This isn't a card of lack. It's a card of just a little bit of abundance with smart choices, with also discipline and discernment. Okay, so this is in the environment. There might be a lot of opportunities, a lot of energy that you need to connect with. So you have to be choosy and picky, and you have every right to be so and to do so. So as long as you are kind of like making good choices, I feel like you're going to be in a good direction this month. Let's move on to hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have the Page of Wands coming through in this position. It is reversed. So this Page of Wands is reminding you not to replay the past. I see him connecting with the clouds, getting that sort of lightning. And sometimes we want lightning to strike twice in the same place, to use the metaphor. And it's not about repeating things or capturing lightning in a bottle. You are the creator. You can put new energy into new things without having to rinse and repeat. You're co-creating your path with the divine. And so be the director, be the producer, be the creator of what it is that you're looking for in your story, in your path, and don't replay the past. Page of Wands is a communication card. So listen, observe. This card is very much about taking it in and sometimes even demonstrating it, walking the walk before you talk the talk, because by the time you actually do get a moment to get into the spotlight and speak, people will see that you already embody that which you are saying. And they're like, yeah, I can see. This is a hard worker, or this is someone who's created balance, or this is someone who's done the research. I think I'll listen. Embody it, walk it, then talk it, okay? And then finally, I'm very, very inspired by the 9 of Wands, because it shows me that whatever this is, whatever these choices may be, you're going to land in a really good place here with the 9 of Wands. This is survival, perseverance. We see lightning striking yet again in this card. So don't give up. It might have been a long path, but this path is worth the work. It's worth the energy. Don't give up now. I have a couple of additional things that I want to say about the 9 of Wands, but it's a perfect point now to expand the forecast because they have to do with health. So we're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny in this portion. I'm going to move at a slightly faster pace this month. So if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that and we can go into greater depth. But for now, let's start off with health, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. And we'll first begin with not the Oracle card, the Tarot card that represents it, and then I'll go back to 9 of Wands because I thought of something there. All right, you're changing your luck. Once again, things are shifting. The Wheel of Fortune spins. And if you notice, even when it's reversed, one of the 2 people on this card are still kind of heading in the upright position because things keep moving. So it's not where you're at, it's where you're headed. And what's more important is where you land in the long run. So you can always improve your general mind, body, spirit health, okay? So this is a chance to take the wheel of fortune, and spin it in your direction. You may be dealing with a health setback. I had massive allergic reactions to the mold. I was having trouble blinking my eyes. I think the infection that I had in my ear was caused by that. There were so many things that I've been dealing with, but the minute I got out, I can breathe. My eyes cleared up. I feel better. I have more energy. So you never know what's possible. I had to take the wheel and say, I need to get out of here. So you might have to do something similar in your life. Don't be afraid to fight, because we have the cards of being an advocate here with the Queen of Wands and the Empress. And don't be afraid to do what's best for you. It's not where you're at, it's where you're headed, and where you're headed can control where you're going to be in the long run, okay? Now let's look at some additional messages around health and well-being. First, with the Nine of Wands, and I want to actually bring in the traditional card because it shows a little bit better what you might be going through. So this person has a bandage around their head. That can represent mental stress or fatigue from being like working too much. Maybe like I was going through all this stuff and your mind eventually just says like enough is enough. Get the help that you need, because this card is ultimately successful. The Nine of Wands is like that old Energizer bunny commercial that used to be on television in like the late 90s. And it just keeps going and going and going. So all you have to do is give yourself a little bit of positivity, a little bit of support, and you can push through the challenge in front of you. This can also represent migraines, headaches, dizziness, and just general call to attention when it comes to brain health. We never talk about like cognitive health, but it's important. So making sure that at every age and stage of life, you're continuing to do things that keep your mind busy. I like to learn foreign languages. I like to read books. I like to talk to people. Anything that kind of gets the mind moving. Puzzles, again, any sort of learning and any sort of stimulation. Apollo's just off camera here, but I'll pull him up when he comes back on. Basically, dogs need a walk when they're sniffing. That kind of activates all the synapses in the brain. So whatever it is for you that lights you up, please make sure that you're doing that and taking care of mental fitness. Okay, diet also plays a role in there. So making sure that you're eating foods that are fueling the brain is important to do. Okay, let's see what else is coming in here. The devil. The devil can represent a temptation. For those of you that are sober or just trying to live a healthier life, if there's someone in your life or something in your life that kind of pulls you away from that path, be mindful of that and avoid it. If there's something going on in your body that doesn't feel right, get to the doctor sooner than later. Trust your instincts and intuition. Find a doctor that listens to you as well, because a lot of times there are people who just don't want to listen to you for any number of reasons, because they have an age bias, a gender bias, etc. And this is saying, I need to find my advocate, right? Because we had the two balance cards, Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and we also have the bandage around the head here. There could be some of you that are dealing with inner ear issues. So that can throw off your balance and give you vertigo, for instance. Obviously work with an ear, nose, and throat specialist or a neurologist if you're going through any of that. Balance eating habits, exercise habits, sleep habits, balance in all areas of your life so that you can be your strongest and best self, okay? And I think those are the main ones to focus on here. Your spiritual growth is coming through, so meditation is really important. It'll help you tune into some of this. It's also going to give you the clarity on what you should and shouldn't do, and those are some important things this month. Let's move on to wealth, which is resources, life, purpose, and career. You actually got two cards in this area. And the first one I love, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is reminding you, without a shadow of doubt, you deserve a seat at the table, in work, in school, in family, and in life in general. You have wisdom and experience to share, believe in yourself, advocate for yourself, and know that you can do this. This is also connected with education, learning, and mastery, meaning that if you put your mind to doing something this month, you can master that craft or that sort of topic. So all of the above, really, really good energy. Beneath the card, we have wish and dream fulfillment and celebration, the Nine of Cups. Look at all of those angels kind of just putting all of the positivity into her cup. You can do this, even if, and especially when someone says you can't. I like to use that as fuel for the fire. I'm like, let me show you all the ways that I can succeed on this. I was retelling one of my friends that that's one of the things that has helped me in life multiple times, whether it's a boss or a teacher that says, you're not good enough, you can't do this. I like to show them just how myopic their vision is on that And the best revenge is success because you're not hurting anyone. You're just helping yourself in that one. Okay. Another couple of messages here with respect to work. So this month, whether you are self-employed, in a larger company, trying to find work, etc., sometimes the biggest enemy is our own sort of thought process. The devil can come through when we think, I can't do this or I'm not good enough. So exactly the opposite of what I just said. It could be like low self-esteem or just letting those words that others have said take up space in your mind when they shouldn't. Create your own dialogue and your own path and your own version of what you want rather than letting that block sit there. I think that many of you are ready for a raise or promotion because we see these cards. It's kind of veering in the right direction, but pick your time and moment. And when you negotiate for a new job, make sure that they listen and that you're not sort of backing down, because we have very strong cards here with that respect. With respect to that. It's important that whatever you decide to do, that the creativity shines through. The High Priestess wants to use her insight and her energy, sort of like for her own development. But if she can't do that, if her vision and her skills aren't received, then there's like a glass ceiling or a brick wall and she can't get past it. So take a look at the environments of places, whether you're currently working or looking for work or volunteering. It needs to be a place where you have room to grow and be yourself. Success is already in the cards here, so it's just a matter of following through. If you said you were going to do something this month, do it. Don't take a shortcut. Don't let someone tempt you to do something that you know is wrong or you don't feel right about. And really look at contracts. Look at your existing contract if you're working. Look at a new one if you're signing it. Look at what you're receiving. The devil can just show inequity because it's also so close to both of the cards of balance and resources. So make sure that you get exactly what you deserve and what you're putting into things, nothing less, okay? And ultimately, I do feel like there's going to be a moment of reclamation of power, and there might even be a reckoning that has to happen this month where you stand up to someone and fight, but it will be worth it in the long run, okay? Let's move on to love and relationships. So we start to see the balance is headed in the right direction here. Seven of Pentacles energy. This person now is reaching for the stars, literally in this card. Love that sort of metaphor, reach for the stars. The Seven of Pentacles also reminds you to learn from the Two and the Six of Pentacles, which preceded it. So now you know just how far you can push things before the scales flip out of balance. A little bit of discernment is necessary here in spending. So if you're looking at, can I afford this? You could also look at, do I need it right now? Or can I spread the payment over a couple of months? Or can I get some additional funding or resources for this? You don't have to do it all on your own. Healing and recovery takes time. And in relationships, now getting back into the energy of love, it's important to really focus on giving yourself and your partner time to grow, to heal, and to become what you know you can become. But the fact that money came through, you might be having those conversations around this, like, can we afford this, particularly if you're in a relationship or if you are someone that people lean on in their lives. You just have to kind of like talk about what you need and then budgets as well. All right. When we're looking at all of this, doesn't matter what kind of relationship status you're in right now, here's what I see. Truth, lies, playing a big role. It's really important to lead with integrity and truth. Someone may reveal themselves to be something that you didn't know that they were. It could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be anybody that you care about. If they take accountability and they choose the path of growth and recovery, embrace them. If they aren't ready to do that, hold space for them to find that accountability. People have to be ready for help before you can help them. And if you try to control them or pull them out of the depths before they're ready, it's not going to be successful, okay? This can also represent outside influences. So any relationships that you have, whether it's close friends or lovers, and there's people or there's situations going on around you that are out of your control that test the integrity of that, again, lean into being honest with the partner, being honest with yourself, and that's going to be what helps you at the end of the day. If you are looking for love, you can find it. Public environments could be the best place to go. So like sports, extracurricular activities, any sort of volunteer work, that's a great way or a great place to meet people. There could be a Capricorn coming into your life. We also here have, with the Page of Wands, a fire sign. Here's the question. Do you have the time? Are you making the time if you already are in a relationship? And how can you meet in the middle? It doesn't have to be like, one thing that I see here with people in general is like power dynamics coming in, my way or the highway. You could meet someone who just isn't ready to share things because they're so used to driving and controlling things. So really make sure that you are discerning in any new connections you make this month. But luck is at the center of all of this. So whether it's your health, wealth, love, or destiny, you have better luck this month. Never forget that. And never let someone take away that feeling that you can do it, okay? Anyone in your life, whether it's a parent or your partner, there really needs to be that feeling of equity and partnership, really, okay? So the key challenges in all partnerships are honesty, time management, possibly money, particularly if you work for a family member, friend, or your partner. This could create a little bit of a wrinkle, so be mindful of that. And then keeping an open mind. These things will help you out. You're going to see the way to do it, so trust in your instincts. That leads us now to destiny. For destiny, loving kindness for all sentient beings, may we all be filled with peace. This is a powerful card because it puts out there the assumption that everyone is smart enough to figure things out, never underestimating someone's intelligence. I think the best books, movies, and also the best leaders assume that people are intelligent. They don't dumb things down. So if you have a difficult conversation, don't dumb it down. Keep it real, keep it relatable, but trust that someone is intelligent enough, capable enough, and hopefully sensitive enough to meet you halfway. And if they aren't, then they've revealed their true colors. But giving them the option to meet you oftentimes inspires their growth too. So you never know until you give someone a chance to show up. Let them meet you on the level. And if they don't, then so be it, okay? Let's take a look at one final question or card. This can be anything that you need some advice on. So go ahead and put that question out to Spirit. We'll give the cards a nice shuffle, and let's see what the answer is for you. Okay, so if you asked a yes or no, there's a big old caveat with it. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, but there's more work and there's more conflict or pushback than you might anticipate. I'd love for you to explore the other options. Yes, you can do it, but it takes work. And make sure that you're ready for the work and potentially for the pushback and the conflict, okay? Other things that we see here, teamwork. That's actually one of the things that you can transmute with this card. So there are people that are unhappy, and instead of fighting each other, they're protesting. So this is like a picketing event. So a bunch of people had to step away from something and together solve it. Rather than fighting one by one with management, they're doing it together. So see where the options and the opportunities are for teamwork, for grassroots efforts like this, and for trying to help everybody see what the collective good is out of revisiting something together. So you're stronger together than alone. Elevate things with communication, collaboration, and cooperation. And that, my friends, is everything. Remember, before we wrap up today, this is a month where you can change your luck. The choices you make will either elevate you or block you. Make good choices. Know that you can make your own luck, redefine what success is, and never give up. Those are your salient points for today. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your reading. Thank you for your patience as I was dealing with a lot in my health and my environment, etc. I know you understand. But if you'd like to show some love and support, you can do it by hitting subscribe, liking the video, leaving a comment as well, and sharing it. Additionally, you can go to my website and connect with me there, giving me a follow on social media so you never miss out on a future reading. You can also give back through PayPal if you like that. You can book a private reading if you want to have a deeper conversation. And here on YouTube, you can give back with super stickers, super chat, and memberships. All of these things make videos just like this possible. Thank you again for your love and support, for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. And right before I sign off, I'd like to pull up a picture of Apollo so we can say goodbye together. All right, here's Apollo. Again, wishing you lots of love and light, everybody. Have a great month ahead. Bye-bye.